What's up, everybody? As usual, about a week into season and mid-season updates, I go ahead and do my loadouts, and that's what today's video is. Loadout meta has been more open than it has been in a long time, so there's guns that are going to be left off this list that are still within top-tier viable and meta ranges. But I put together a list, once again, where it's not just straight up, here's the best loadouts. It's a little more situational, but let's go ahead and jump right into the loadouts. Okay, so as usual, we're starting with our comeback loadout. Here, it's whatever Vanguard you feel the best about, or Vanguard gun you feel the best about. Yeah, you could do Modern Warfare, but then when you do fully loaded for your comeback loadout, you are losing out on an attachment, whereas you're not losing an attachment at all, really, by using a Vanguard gun. So here I went ahead and put the KG. KG's been in the meta for a couple months now, month and a half, and so it just was a good comeback weapon to put. Plus, the drum is 60 rounds, which is higher than other AR mags. And it's the build it's always been: the MX silencer, the shrouded barrel, the 3 to 6 times your preferred optic, the VDD 22 padded, recoil control, movement speed, hand stop, carver, strafe angle, depending on your preference, they all work out well. The 8mm 60 round drums, lengthened, hatched is the way I go now. You can build for sustained or initial recoil, but hatched just affects recoil overall, and for me, it just feels the best. But hatched, depending on how you build it, hatched, polymer, rubber, there's a bunch of different, stippled for initial. There's a bunch of different grips you can do, pine tar, but I still think the best overall is hatched because it helps vertical and horizontal recoil as well as flinch resistance. Tight grip, but if you don't feel like you need the accuracy, definitely go with Vital. Vital hurts your recoil control a little bit, but not too much, and the KG doesn't have a whole lot. You could also go Acrobatic, but I'd go either Tight Grip or Vital. And then because it's comeback, go fully loaded, but normally we have on hand. The big change to our comeback class now is I went and switched to the Desert Eagle from Modern Warfare, the 50 GS. Because it got a huge buff, even though it got a little nerf today, it did get a big buff, and it's 3-shot headshot, or it's 3-shot kill if you include 1 headshot. Normally I would say run akimbo, but because this is a comeback class and we need the fully loaded, go fully loaded, but otherwise, run akimbo. I just don't even have it unlocked, I don't think. But run akimbo if you're not running it for comeback, but for comeback, go monolithic suppressor, the attack enforcer barrel, because it gives you the best range, bullet velocity, and recoil control. Match grade trigger for helping fire rate and aiming stability. It hurts your hip fire accuracy. If you're going to hip fire a lot, you could go lightweight trigger. 13 round mag for the biggest mag, and then fully loaded. Perks lethal tactical, as always, up to you. For the heavy snipers, we have the 3-line again. The 3-line's got one of the top bullet velocities, plus it has a 20 round mag, and there's a bunch of other benefits. We have the MX silencer. We go with the Empress 700mm barrel because it helps bullet velocity, helps reduce sway and gun bob. The other option is the 820, which gives you the best bullet velocity and increases your damage, but this is a one-shot headshot, so we're not as worried about that. But I like to help reduce the sway and the gun bob, plus snipers already have pretty high bullet velocity. You can run the stock optic. I hate the stock optic, but go 3 to 6 times or 4 to 8 times. The 6 times is enough for me, so I like the 3 to 6 times. Both help your ADS over the default scope, but the 3 to 6 hurts your helps your ADS more. And then MN custom stock, I choose that for the flinch resistance and the aiming stability, but the SO1 stock is another good option for aiming stability and flinch resistance, but it comes with more cons, so I go with the MN custom. Heavy foregrip helps your idle sway control and reduces your scope sway, big benefits to sniping. 20 round mag, it increases your damage range and your bullet velocity and your penetration and your reload quickness while also giving you 20 rounds. So if you hit an ammo box and you have the 20 round mag, you now have 60 sniper bullets. No other sniper's gonna be able to do that for you. Lengthen for the bullet velocity, polymer because it helps with flinch resistance and aim down sight speed, shrouded because of the scope glint concealment. You don't go away completely, but your glint is smaller. Silent focus is another good option to go with, and then nothing else is really too important, but either shrouded or silent focus. With the heavier sniper, you're probably gonna be a little farther away, so we're not as worried about aiming stability because you don't have to hit the quick shot. But shrouded is nice, so they can't really see where they're being sniped from. And then on hand, if you run the default optic or one of the sniper scopes, go with deep breath, but because you can't hold your breath on the variable optics, go with on-hand for the ADS speed. Then we have the Volk. Some people would say this belongs even in an SMG category. It's really good sniper support right now with the recoil booster, like any SMG. The 428mm barrel to help with the damage range, the bullet velocity. Or, depending on how you like to build it, you can also go with the 287 because it helps your aim down sight speed, your aim walking speed, and your sprint to fire speed. So for sniper support, I go with the 428. But if you're running with an aggressive sniper running in an SMG, go 287. M3 ready grip helps your ADS speed, your sprint to fire speed, and your aim walking move speed. If you're struggling with the recoil, once again, Carver foregrip, strife angled, or hand stop. Because you're running this AR kind of in an SMG role as a sniper support, I'd probably recommend hand stop. It helps vertical and horizontal, but it also doesn't hurt your ADS, whereas the strife angled hurts your ADS, and so does the Carver. Then the 7.62 round 45 mag. It's just best, increases your fire rate. It's really good for running it in an SMG, but the 8mm 60 is another decent option as well, especially for sniper support. Lengthened slate reflector, your choice of optic. The 22V adjustable stock, it helps with the aim walking steadiness and aim movement speed, as well as that initial firing recoil. The SL12, the S12V is also a decent option because it helps with that recoil control. The short, I'm not going to run. It hurts your accuracy and your recoil control. And the SA converted is a decent option, but it hurts your initial firing recoil. Gung Ho for that instant sprint to fire time. You could also run Perfection, so you're struggling with recoil control, or Fleet, because you are going to be slow swapping weapons between a sniper and an AR, and your movement speed's not going to be as fast. Steady's another good option for the ADS firing move speed. And then hatched grip, but once again, if you don't struggle with the recoil, go taped like an SMG. Otherwise, you have a handful of other grips for recoil control, and it's just kind of a preference thing. Then we're going into light sniper. Light snipers are back on this list because of that recent sniper buff. You could run the Swiss, you could run the CAR, you could run the SPR. It's kind of all preference. I go with the CAR because it's just the most popular. Probably my preference as well. And it's going to have the monolithic suppressor, the 27.6-inch barrel, the tack laser, the sniper scope, the precision comb, just like always. If you're not worried about getting the max damage range out of it, you can drop the monolithic suppressor for like stippled grip or focus to help some flinch resistance. It has been nerfed, but you could run it still. And you can also do the sport comb for the additional ADS. Here I have the UGR. The UGR's got good damage range. It's got a decent time to kill. It's fairly competitive, and I've been running it with ARs lately and having a lot of fun with it. I put it with the CAR because it's, you know, SMG with the aggressive sniper, plus it's got decent damage range compared to the other SMGs. Now, it's the same Cold War build. I always have Grease Suppressor, Task Force Barrel, Tiger Team Spotlight, Bruiser Grip, and the only mag option is the Explosive Flatchettes. They don't really do more damage, but it is 36 more bullets with a better damage range, so that's always good. And then depending on preference, you could drop the Tiger Team Spotlight or the Bruiser Grip for Spetsnaz or KGB Skeleton stocks. And then I have two LMGs for you. The first one's going to be the Whitley. The Whitley's been buffed like 4 times in the last month and a half. And it's definitely better for, in my opinion, for the small map. It's got a little faster time to kill compared to the next LMG I have on this list, but then it's a little bit longer time to kill at range. But this, in my opinion, also has less horizontal and vertical recoil as well as visual recoil. The Whitley just feels like it doesn't move at all like a lot of Vanguard guns. It's going to be the MX Silencer, the MK9 barrel. It's the same build it's been for a while. The 3 to 6 times, the CGC R4 stock. The hand stop, strife angled, or Carver foregrip, depending on your preference. The 303 British 45 round mags, lengthened, hatch grip, polymer, grooved, depending on your preference. Hard scope, Frenzy's also decent, but you're probably not going to need that at range. Sleight of hand's not as important with the 45 round mag, neither is discard. So I end up with hard scope for the overall recoil control. And then on hand for the ADS speed, which also helps balance out hard scope's negative. And we have the well gun. The well gun's the same build it's been for a while. With the recoil booster, the short barrel, the slate reflector, remove stock, hand stop, 7.62 40 round mag, lengthened, fabric grip, gung ho, and quick. This has a little more recoil, even though the well gun doesn't have a whole lot. So if you struggle with the recoil, you can go with the shrouded barrel, which will also increase your damage range. And it's another really good option. Either go Gaiwin short and shrouded, or shrouded and keep the build the same. And since I don't think this has a whole lot of recoil, I'll go with the hand stop. But either go hand stop or strife angle, depending on how you feel about the horizontal recoil. And then perks lethal tactical as usual, up to you. Then the LMG that I have for Caldera, for longer sightlines, bigger maps is the UGM. The UGM has a better long-range time to kill than the Whitley does, and doesn't have a whole lot of more visual bounce or recoil than the Whitley does. And you can run the burst build. I don't like burst guns, so I don't have the burst build on my list. But I have the MX silencer, the 7.36mm barrel. The burst barrel is the 5.60 barrel. The choice, your optic of choice, the W2, the WT Ancre stock. If you want to go burst, you want to go with the TAC-YR for the initial fire and recoil, or the Forte. I think it's kind of a preference thing. I like the TAC-YR because it helps the aim walking move speed and the aim walking steadiness. And then if you are running the burst build, I have the hand stop for the automatic build, but if you're running the burst build, I mean, really any of them work. You could consider the Mark 6 skeletal since you're not constantly controlling recoil, and that's another good option as well. No matter which build you're running, you're going to run the 125 round box with the 6.5 Sakura rounds, lengthened. I have hatched grip because I'm running it as an automatic, but otherwise go with, I think it's stippled for the burst build. Yeah, otherwise, if you're running the burst build, go with stippled. Otherwise, it's hatched, polymer, any one of the other recoil ones. Tight grip, once again, that's for the fully automatic build. Otherwise, go with brace for the initial fire and recoil. Another option is surveil. It's decent, but I don't think it's better than tight grip or brace. So automatic build, tight grip, burst build, brace, and then on hand, as usual. Then I have the Type 100 SMG. Still really fast time to kill, still good damage range, even though it has gotten a nerf, but it's the same build we've been running with the recoil booster, the rapid barrel, the slate reflector, or your choice of optic. The skeletal stock, the difference here is I have changed it to strife angled, but strife angled, hand stop, carver, up to you. I like the strife angled a lot on SMGs when I'm getting that horizontal bounce, because vertical is not really a problem at all when it comes to close range fights. 36 round mags, lengthened, fabric grip. You could run polymer. You could run hatched, depending if you're struggling with the recoil or not. Gung Ho for that instant sprint to fire time. Acrobatics, another good option, especially if you're going to be aiming doors and you don't need that instant sprint to fire time. Same thing with Fleet, same thing with Vital. If you're not aiming doors, these are all good options as well. And the Vital will make it kill a little bit quicker. And then quick. So now we're getting my top 5 ARs. Spoiler alert, there's some ARs left off this list. The BAR is not on this list, even though I still think it's within the meta. The STG is actually looking stronger, but I didn't quite fit it on this list. You have to keep out a long-range video that I'll put out to see if those make that list. But the STG is better than it was now that other things have been nerfed, but that got left off this list. The NZ got nerfed again, and I just think the NZ is fully out of the meta, out of top-tier viable. Still viable, but out of top-tier viable in meta, and it just doesn't have a place where I only put 5 ARs. And then the Fair is also off this list. I've seen an uptick in the Krig, which I still don't think is that good, but that's also could be on this list. And as much as it pains me because I don't like this gun, I can't ignore it anymore. Shout out to my buddy Blockburner, who's always run this gun, but the M13 is on my loadout list. I never thought I'd see the day. I'm upset about it, but it is what it is. The M13 kills faster than the Kilo, kills faster than the NZ. I think it kills faster than the KG. It kills really fast. But that's from the rate of fire, so you do run out of ammo. That's why I got stuck at number 5. TTK competitive, but you only have 5 attachments, and it runs out of ammo quickly. If you run the M13, you definitely know the build. It's Monolith Expressor, Tempest Marksman, Barrel, Commando 4-grip 60-round mag. I have the VLK 3 times on it, but I know a lot of people like to go with the Core Combat Hollow Scout, especially if you have the blue dot. I prefer the VLK 3 times with the T-pose, but I know a lot of people like the Core Combat Hollow Scout. I hate that this is on the list. Shout out to Blockburner, but it is on the list. Recoil booster. Sorry, I have the MP40 with it. The MP40 hasn't been touched in a while. It's still very, very good. I don't think it's one of the top SMGs, but I think it can compete with the top SMGs in the right hands, similar to the UGR. And it's the same build we've been running for a while on it. The recoil booster, the short barrel, your choice of optic. Remove stock, either hand stop, strife angled, carver, depending on your preference. I know Mark 6 skeletal is also good on SMGs, and so is the SMLE pistol grip. Once again, it's all purely your preference, but there's a lot of underbarrel options. The 7.62 45-round mags, lengthened or subsonic are your two choices that they should be on every SMG. No incendiary, no hollow point. They're just not worth the penalties. Taped grip, But once again, Fabric's also another good option for SMGs. Fabric or taped, I have them both on SMGs, just to include them both on this list. And you shouldn't struggle with recoil, even with the removed stock, but otherwise any one of the recoil groups we've talked about also works. And then I run momentum for the move speed after kills, because there's not another movement one besides steady. So I'd recommend either momentum or steady, but once again, with the remove stock, if you struggle, you can go with perfectionist as well. And then quick. Number 4 is the Cold War Vargo. The Vanguard Vargo, it's awful still. They did buff the bullet velocity, but it's just still not very good. And it's the same Cold War build as we've always had. The Groove Suppressor, Task Force Barrel, Action Arms 3 times, Spetsnaz Grip, and 60-round mag. I think in the place of the Vargo, you could put the XM4, you could put the Cold War AK, you could put the Farah, but I just think the Vargo is the best of all of those options. And then I have the UGR build we already had. I kept the Cold War with the Cold War, but I have been running the UGR a lot lately. And except for really good players, if you run into players that are the same skill level as you or lower, you do kill at least some that are using the SMGs that I have at the top of this list. And by the way, these SMGs are in no particular order. I just threw them on some guns, but all these SMGs are interchangeable, really, especially within these top 3 loadouts. Number 3, I have the glorious Kilo. I love the Kilo. I did make a video on it being back, which I can link down below. I'll try to link that and the Vargo S video so you can see why I say it's so terrible. But the Kilo's back. I like it more than the M13. Now that they increased the health, the ammo can be a little bit of an issue, but don't be a bot and run the 100-round mag. That is always how we spotted bots back in the Kilo meta. If you don't remember or you weren't there, that's how we knew when people were bots. And it's the same build it's always been. It's the monolithic suppressor, the 19-point-inch barrel, the VOK 3 times optic, commando foregrip, and 60-round mag. I used to say you could get away with the 50-round mag, but with the increase in health, you need the extra ammo. It does help your ADS a little bit, but not enough to not have the extra ammo like it used to work. I love the Kilo. It's still got a dear place in my heart. It's still my favorite gun ever in Warzone, and I'm so glad it is back. It would be higher on the list if its TTK was a little bit better. And then with that, I have the Marco. It's the same Marco build I've been running. The recoil booster, the 342mm barrel, your choice of optic, the Perfetto Esada, the hand stop, Strife Angled or Carver, the 8mm 64-round drums. All of the ammos give you similar time to kill. They just drop off at different points, so I opt for the most amount of ammo. You could go with some other options, but then you're really low on ammo, and you're hurting like recoil control and stuff. And so the 64-round drum ends up being the best for me. You get the most amount of ammo, you get better recoil control, and better hipfire accuracy. Then lengthened or subsonic. Then once again, either taped or fabric, up to you. I like the taped grip a lot. Gung Ho is instant sprint to fire speed, but if you're not worried about instant sprint to fire speed, like you're ADSing before you peek, before you hit doors, go momentum. I don't like the Akimbo build, but you could run the Akimbo build on here. I'll link my Marco video down low as well. Loadouts are still the same. Time to kill data is all about the same. So I'll try to link that below as well, if you want to run the Akimbo build. But I would recommend Gung Ho, Frenzy, or Momentum, preferably Gung Ho, and then Quick once again. Number 2, this is another one that pains me. This is a gun similar to the M13 I've always disliked, but with all the recent nerfs and buffs throughout all of the Vanguard guns, now Cold War Modern Warfare guns as well, the Cooper has really started to shine. Now, just like I did with the LMGs, AR number 2 is better on the small maps. AR number 1 works more on all of the maps. The Cooper is definitely still a better gun for the small maps, but it does work on Caldera. And I hate to say it, but it is like meta now. I still don't really love this gun, but it's definitely good. MX Silencer, Cooper Custom, your choice of optic, Cooper Custom Padded, or Cooper 45, kind of up to you, but the Cooper 45 doesn't hurt your move speed. Strife Angled, Carver, Hand Stop, your choice. 9mm 60-round drums, lengthened. I have Polymer on here because I built it for sustained recoil, and Polymer is still the best at sustained recoil, but Polymer or Hatched. Tight grip for that sustained recoil again, but if you're not worried about the recoil, you can go Vital. You can also go recoil control for overall recoil, but if you stack the sustained attachments, you'll find the best recoil versus mixing them up. And like I said, if you can handle the recoil, go with Vital, and then on hand for ADS speed. Then I have that with the newly popular short barrel armor wearer build. Recoil boost. I use the recoil booster on every SMG. the short barrel, the slate reflector, and by the way, this is a build that I got from Jowo, with the TA skeletal stock. If you are struggling with the recoil, go with the body DA. The body DA definitely helps with the recoil a lot. I've been trying out the SG98 underbarrel. It helps your aim walking move speed. I don't know if I love it enough to really get off of Strife Angled, Carver, and Hand Stop, but it is an option for SMG, so I wanted to go and include it because this is literally the build that I plucked from Jowo. 9mm 60 round mag. I think that's always been the go-to mag on this gun. I think it still is. Lengthened or subsonic. Polymer to help balance out the hurt sustained recoil in skeletal, even though I guess that doesn't make a whole lot of sense because the initial firing recoil is going to fight it. So once again, you could just switch it to taped grip. That might be a better option. Steady for the ADS firing move speed, but Vital is another decent option. It's just going to hurt your recoil, and in that case, I would definitely go with the Strife Angled, Carver, or Hand Stop. But none of the other options are really worth using. So either Steady or Vital, and then Quick once again. And then finally, number 1, the KG got nerfed again today, but it is still definitely the number 1 option for long range. It's same build we've been running, the MX silencer. In fact, it's the same build. I'm not going to go through it again, actually. It's the same build as the comeback loadout. The only difference now is on hand instead of fully loaded. But otherwise, it's the exact same build as we had on the comeback loadout. It is, and that's also why I put it on the comeback loadout. I didn't just randomly pick a Vanguard gun to have 10 attachments fully loaded. And finally, still the best SMG in my opinion is the Blixen. It's the recoil booster, the 17-inch barrel. Despite its nerf today, it still feels like it's the best one. Slate reflector, your choice of optic. Remove stock. Strife angled, 7.62, 54 round mags. Lengthened, taped grip, fleet, and quick. This build's pretty low recoil, pretty easy to use, but if you do struggle with the recoil, drop the remove stock for the CR10, and you'll be perfectly fine with like absolutely zero recoil, zero bounce at all. And once again, you could go hand stop. You could go hand stop, you could go SMLE pistol grip, Carver, Mark 6 skeletal, SG98 compact. A lot of different options for the underbarrel as well. So those are my 10 loadouts. I'll leave the best loadout on the screen as I wrap up this video. But thank you for watching. If you watched the whole thing, skipped around, I appreciate any watch time at all. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know when I upload my long range video coming, my short range video coming, and I think I'm going to do a sniper support video. The notification bell will let you know when all that comes out, as well as any other future videos coming. And let me know down below what you think of my loadouts. Are they good? Are they bad? Am I wrong? Am I right? Let me know down in the comments. And I will try to remember to link all those videos below. I'll have to look back, but I think it was the Marco, the UGM. There's the Vargo. I think those were the 3. I'm gonna have to remember. I'll remember when I look back through my loadouts. But I'll try to link all those down below, as well as my social medias. I did start streaming on Twitch again. I post almost daily on Instagram and TikTok, and then my Twitter's down there as well. So please check all those out if you'd like. But I will see you on Caldera, Rebirth Island, and Fortune's Keep. Get frying. Have a good day. Bye.